Version 2 Greaves tutorial. This is lower leg armor that matches my popular version 2 Gauntlet design. This is a pretty easy build, very satisfying. Had a lot of fun building it. Hopefully you guys will too. This is 20 gauge stainless steel, but you can use a little thicker metal if you like. There are also some brass accents that really make this thing special. So anyway, grab your hammers and let's get started. Get your template by clicking under the video or in the video, or going directly to armortemplates.com where all of my templates are available. Cut your pieces out, only 2 big ones this time. You can see I got a little mark here for where we're going to bend this over. If you're using thicker metal, like 18 gauge for instance, you wouldn't really need to do this, but for the thinner stuff I strongly suggest it. Bend it over with the seamer tool, and just hammer it rest of the way over. As you can see, it's much nicer, cleaner edge, and they mate very well together. Here I've got a piece of exhaust tubing. I'm just bending it over. I'm going slow though because I don't want to get any creases in there. This is a rawhide hammer or leather hammer. Just gonna hit the corners a bit to bend them in a little bit more. The bigger piece takes a little bit more work, a little bit more time. This is a Masonry Chisel. I'm going to use it to make a little crease about halfway up, just as a little accent crease. A little bit more visual appeal. And then the parts, when you put them together, they're not going to be perfect, so you're going to have to twist and bend a little bit to get them to line up just right. This is a piece from Dapping set. You can also use the ball peen hammer. And I'm using it just basically to flare the edges out. Usually I flare in, but this time I flared out. I think it's a little bit better appearance actually, and I really liked it. So, you know, if you guys like this, you can do it this way. If not, bend it in. There's the result. Looks good to me. Here I'm flaring out the bottom of the groove a little bit, and some 80 Grit Sandpaper to give it a brushed appearance. Here's a little wood box that I've got. Just bought it from the art store and kind of modified it a bit. Inside of it I have some 1/4 inch craft foam available at any craft store, and also these brass sheets are available there. Very common size, 4 inch by 10 inch. In this case I used 0.010 thickness, but you can go a little thicker if you want. Trace the parts out onto the brass using an awl or a nail or something. And then we're going to use I'm using a screwdriver end that I have dulled with some sandpaper, and just going over all the edges, and already we're getting a bit of a 3D appearance. Now from the back side we're going to take a piece of the Dapping set again, and we're going to just start rubbing and actually just kind of drawing it in there and making it a lot more 3D. I actually have a much more in-depth video tutorial on how to do this cheap and easy repoussé process I've come up with. So at the bottom right corner you'll see a little link. Make sure to click it and check it out. Looking pretty good. From the top I'm bringing it back down again, even more of a 3D look. Here's your completed pieces. Now I'm trying to, before I try to cut these parts out, I'm going to convince them to curve a bit, because if I don't want them to crinkle and bend and crease. So you just kind of convince them a little bit on the exhaust pipe there, and they'll fit a little better. Now I've got the parts cut out and fit basically to the greave. And I'm going to drill one hole at a time. Only do one at a time, because if you do any more, the holes likely will not line up. Here's some very thin copper rod I'm using to rivet them on. Looking good. And you can make your own hinges, or you can use store-bought hinges. Here I'm making my own. And you can see they're not quite perfectly cut out yet, and that's because we want these edges to match perfectly, so we're gonna just fold it over and then file it down to the shape we want. Oh, Valentine's Day. Here's the completed hinge. And here's a bigger piece of copper rod. This is 1/4 inch copper rod. I'm going to use this to rivet the hinges onto the actual armor. There you go, hinged right, and everything's lining up just right. Perfect. I'm going to trim here though. It didn't line up quite perfectly, so no big deal. Just give it a little trim. Here I'm using the same rod I was using before to make some simple buckles. You can use any metal you want, but I had some copper, so I figured I'd use it. Very simple little design here. Just basically put the little prong through a hole in a piece of leather, fold it over, and then rivet it to itself to keep the leather from coming free. And there you go, that's a buckle. I also put in this little piece here to you know, sort of secure the extra strap once you put it through on the other side. Here's all the straps attached to the armor. And there you have it, guys. Not a whole lot to it. It was a lot of work to put all the detail work on, but the actual armor build only took probably an hour and a half or so, so it wasn't that hard to do at all. Very satisfied with this piece. Definitely going to go on my wall, and hope you guys have as much fun building as I did. And at this point, with 2 Greaves and 2 Gauntlets, you guys almost have a complete set in this design, so looking pretty good. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/armortemplates. We have all kinds of giveaways and contests and stuff over there, so give the page a like. Also, make sure to find me on armortemplates.com. Check out all my other tutorials. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support, guys, and I will see you next time. See you next